Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Tolchinsky, and I am an organization consultant currently living in the U.S. I lived for and worked for many years in Europe, and I am the co-founder of the European Organization Design Forum and quite excited to participate in EODF 2016 in Barcelona. The question I was asked is, what object represents organization design to me? And so Roger stole my line by using Lego, so I will move to a puzzle. And if you look at this puzzle, this is actually from an old client of mine, but it's nothing more than a bunch of pieces and parts that are pulled together. Right? And so I thought a puzzle is a good object to represent organization design for a number of reasons. The first is, in this moment, it's nothing more than a pile. It's a pile of pieces and parts, shapes and figures. And organization design begins with an end in mind. What's the purpose? What's the goal? What's the picture that we wish to create out of this puzzle? And how do we begin to think about it in a way that creates some vision, some direction, some goal, some end in mind? And so a puzzle begins with having a clear picture of where you want to be when it's done and all the pieces and the parts are together, and organization design is much the same. Until you have a purpose or an end in mind, you really have nothing. Right? You have maybe an idea or a concept, but you don't have the basis on which to even think about and create an organization. Number two, a puzzle is about bringing together the pieces and the parts, and thinking about the elements that would create an organization that are most interesting. Right? And so the parts of a puzzle, right, these little pieces and parts of a puzzle, represent processes, they represent people, they represent technologies, and the intent in organization design is to put these together in a way that makes an exciting picture, an end result that one could be energized by, excited by, and would create competitive advantage. The third reason I picked the puzzle is when you begin to organize the pieces into a constellation is when you actually begin doing probably the thing that we're most familiar with in organization design, and that's structure and hierarchy and things like that. And so the intent in a puzzle is to pull together the pieces and the parts in a way that makes a coherent whole. The intent in organization design is to do the same thing. And another reason why I like the puzzle is a set of interlocking pieces and parts. It's not just about the processes and the technologies and the people, but it's how all of these things interconnect and work together in a symbiotic kind of way. How do people, how do groups, how do distributed organizations and teams operate in a way that makes a coherent whole, that creates some kind of aesthetic beauty, right? Music, if you will. And so what I love about a puzzle or a Lego is that you can create these things in any way you wish. There's no one right answer to an organization design. The question is, does it create and enable the picture that you started with? If it does, it's a good design and it's a good solution. The last thing I thought about puzzles is, what's different probably about a puzzle or a set of Legos is when you're done, you can take it easily apart. With organization design, once you've created it, it's not quite so easy to take it apart again. Right? It requires more thought, requires more conscientiousness. Right? Once it's created, it's very fragile, and so one can't quite simply undo the pieces and the parts and put it back together in a good way. And so organization design is, once it's created, the question is, how do you create it in a way that would enable it to be reconfigured, reconstructed, right, in some way that ensures that it's adaptable, flexible, reconfigurable over time. Puzzles and Legos are quite easy to do that. Organizations, maybe not so much. So I chose a puzzle, and I hope it makes sense. I look forward to meeting you. I'll bring my puzzle to Barcelona, and I challenge, in the moment, I'm going to make a challenge to Mark Lascala, right? Mark, what's your image that represents org design? Elvira Kelmar, what's yours? And Roxana, what would yours be if we were to ask you this question? What object represents organization design for you? So I look forward to meeting you in Barcelona. A happy and healthy day, everyone.